Please tell me what's your name and what you're doing, what's your function?
My name is Bill Ferguson. I am the commissioning editor for a company called Liebert Publishing, and we publish some 80 peer-reviewed journals. I'm also, as commissioning editor, the person who starts up new journals. And just a year ago this time, I launched the Games for Health journal, and I am the editor-in-chief of this journal.
And what's it aimed at? What's the market? Who
Um,
reads it?
who reads it? I would hope that everyone from hospital researchers all the way down to end users such as patients and so on, and the entire group of people involved in one way or another with health games find something interesting in the journal. We publish primarily peer-reviewed research, which is done by hospitals and universities and so on. But we also publish articles regarding such things as intellectual property, validation, legal requirements, the process of starting games, how to identify target markets and end results, and then build the game toward that. So any aspect of games that are related to health that an individual has, they'll find something in the journal of interest to them.
What's your story? Why are you here?
I'm here because it's like the old joke in America. Why does Willie Sutton rob banks? Well, that's because that's where the money is. And the reason I'm at this conference is this is where all of the important people in various aspects of health games are. And I was very impressed last year. I'm even more impressed this year. And I think that Urian has done a wonderful job as well as his team. And I hope to be back next year.
So, but are you're here to sell your magazine as well, so or to show it to people, or to gain more interest?
There is all of those things.
Yeah.
Most importantly, what I would like to do is get to know the researchers better so that they are familiar with the journal as a vehicle to publish their findings. Because that does three things for us. One, it gets us content for the journal.
Yeah.
Two, it generally gets the universities or the research facilities that they're associated with to subscribe to the journal, which is how we make money. Three, it also gives us a larger population of people to review papers, and these are all peer-reviewed papers.
Yeah.
So you can that way have confidence in the credibility of the research and the quality of the papers.
Yeah, yeah. So you do a lot of talking, meeting people, socializing.
I do, and it's the fun part of the job.
Yeah, yeah, I can imagine. Why are games for health important?
I think the bottom line of Games for Health is that they are a means to an end. And that is that over the years we have given the responsibility for our health care to doctors and physicians and so on, and that we don't really treat ourselves until something has gone wrong. I think what's going to be the most important thing that comes out of health games is the ability for us to manage and control our own health and to prevent diseases and conditions from occurring in the first place. When it is that we recognize that there's something going on, we can have an electronic relationship with physicians and information so that we take personal control of our own well-being.
So you think people are willing to go that path? Aren't they just completely satisfied with the fact that they just go to the doctor when they get ill?
Well, I think that that's an old mindset.
Yeah.
I mean, people of my parents' generation always denied that they were sick. They would say, well, I haven't been to a doctor in 20 years. And meanwhile, of course, there are things going on inside their body, like all of us have, right? It's just because they haven't been to a doctor doesn't mean they're healthy. And I really like the definition of health as being the absence of illness and the presence of well-being. that's a proactive approach. And I think with Games for Health, where we can use it to increase improve our eating habits, increase our activity, improve our flexibility, prevent illness in the first place, brings the responsibility back to us where it should be.
Is there a big trend you notice in Games for Health?
There are several trends. One, I'm finding that insurance companies and employers are starting to see that it is cheaper to have a healthy employee and to help them stay healthy than it is to have a sick employee that can't come to work, whose efficiency at work is decreased and so on. So the concept of wellness within the job and facilitating that through games and activities and so on, I think is a very important step. The second thing is the idea of having games and therapeutic processes that people can take to their homes, along with electronic records and data keeping that goes directly to the doctor, so that the doctor and the patient work in partnership for the patient's well-being. It's not like the patient has to go to the doctor. The information from the patient goes to the doctor.
Yeah, and the doctor knows what's going on.
Exactly.
Yeah, and can phone if you're doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So those are important trends. What's your own personal favorite game for health?
Actually, I think the best application of using gaming and self-involvement, there are several games that are out there that engage the person in setting goals and so on. But if you take a look at Weight Watchers, the Weight Watchers program, and how they encourage you to monitor both your intake of food and allow you to eat more if you exercise more. To me, while that is not strictly a game, it has personal involvement in it and the sense of responsibility and the desire to increase the performance all built into one unit. And I've often thought that of the well-being games that or well-being activities, that Weight Watchers really is doing it right.
Do you see a big increase in games for health that end up in your journal?
Oh yes,
yeah?
And let me tell you why that is. It's why I'm answering the way it is. We're seeing more and more physical conditions and diseases that are being researched, and games are being used either for therapy or for training the practitioners themselves. And it used to be that childhood obesity and diabetes, were at the forefront. Now we're starting to see things like autism spectrum disorder, cystic fibrosis, childhood cancer, the geriatric care, flexibility, health activities are expanding. And so the missing piece, I think, now are the middle-aged people. And because they're always so busy with their children or more and more with their parents' care, that we need to find a way to get them involved in their own health management via games. And when you take a look at the statistics of game players, the 18 to 20, 50-year-olds are the majority of the game players. We just need to find health games for them.
Yeah. And you don't think they use the running apps or the...
I'm not saying that they don't,
No.
but I wonder how, to date, no one has, as far as I've seen for the journal, submitted any valid information on how sticky those apps are, how long people use them, what the benefits are, the longitudinal studies. Somebody used something for a year or 2 years, and this is what the benefit is. as opposed to clinical studies where there are lots of different kinds of controls and so on. It's more difficult to take personal apps such as I've seen one where you where people chase around zombies. Right?
Yeah.
Have you seen that one? Well, how sticky is that? What's the benefit? We don't know.
No.
So these are peer-reviewed papers. These are scientific journals. I would very much like to see somebody do research in those areas so that we know if and to what extent those are effective.
And how to improve them if they're not.
Exactly.
Yeah. Are Games for Health a solution for everything?
Let me let someone far wiser than I am answer that question. I'm very fortunate on my editorial board to have Deborah Lieberman as my assistant editor, and I asked her that question. And she was the first person to do research back in the 1990s with children and diabetes and compliance, with testing and their dietary control. She says that while not everything has been demonstrated, every condition or illness has been demonstrated to have a game for it, she wouldn't rule it out. It's just a matter of time before somebody finds or develops the right game for that particular condition. And nobody wants to close the door before looking behind it.
So what will the world look like in 10 years' time? Or is 10 years' time too early for a real change?
You and I will both be richer and better looking.
That's always good. Better looking, I can't imagine. But concerning Games for Health.
Oh, concerning Games for Health. Oh, all right. I think we will find that the doctors, therapists, insurance companies, and individuals will have more tools available for them for better self-health management. And that we will have more confidence in games because we'll have more data, more studies, more research. That it won't just be something that is regarded sort of with a nod and a wink, because some people, even now, they think games are for fun without realizing the serious applications and implications of them. I think that games have to, in the next 10 years, games will demonstrate their true value and will earn their way into the healthcare process.
Will your magazine still be there?
Oh, by all means, only it'll be thicker.
Okay. And what game do you use yourself for your health?
I use Health Per, which is an American game.
Yeah.
That's a wellness game. I play a lot of games. I play not necessarily all health games.
No.
But
games for fun as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, that makes you healthy maybe as well, because it makes you happy.
Well, it keeps my head going. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. And good luck with the conference.
Thank you.